Greetings YouTube, Marvel Strew here, and I just got the Platinum Trophy for Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. Took me about 30 hours to do everything, and I enjoyed every minute of this game. Well, mostly every minute. So let's start with the game, and we'll start with the gameplay. The combat is by and large very much like the previous two games, Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, with a few new updates, notably the ability to perfect parry. I really enjoyed the parry and dodge system in this game, though my fingers do tend to press buttons before my brain can comprehend what type of defensive move I need to use. This led to more than a few deaths. Another thing that bothered me about this game was the lock-on target system, or seemingly lack thereof. Now, perhaps this varies by difficulty you play on. I played on the most balanced difficulty, which is known as amazing. But I often miss being able to click a button and switch my targeting from one enemy to the next, especially when web zipping at them, as I'd often target the wrong enemy in the group. So basically, like, I'd be in a group and there'd be a certain enemy I need to target out of that group. For whatever reason at that point in the game, and I could never get it to target on that enemy. And of course, like, you're zipping around the room, and I'm zipping over here and over here and over here, every which way, but I never zip over there where I needed to be. Yeah, so that was another thing that kind of really just, you know, it bothered me. It did get to me. And then the other thing is that at times it just felt like it took too many hits to down an enemy, especially a normal enemy. But other than that, I thought the combat was great. I thought the combat was, you know, fantastic. It's as good as the other two games, if not better. In fact, I spent a good portion of my first 6 hours just going around, stopping crimes, and basically just fighting enemies, because it was just so much fun to just go around and beat them up. That's what I did. I was just, you know, I was just doing like fight challenges and stuff. So what else do I have with the gameplay? Okay, tandem fights. Tandem fights are so cool. It was so cool to you know, you're fighting, you're playing with one Spider-Man, you're fighting a group of people, and all of a sudden the other Spider-Man comes in and he kicks the guy up in the air, and your Spider-Man like whelps him up and throws him down, and then they start doing these like combo moves. That was really cool. And this is and not only that, but then as I played throughout the game and we did side missions and side quests, and we met other characters in the game, it wasn't just the two Spider-Men who would team up for combo fights or combo moves, but Spider-Man and other characters who would team up with combo moves. So that was actually really cool. And then there was the variety of enemies and enemy weaknesses. That was really well done. The first Spider-Man game, and I believe Miles Morales, if I remember Miles Morales correctly, you basically, you know, only had like a very limited different types of enemies. This game, there's a lot of different types of enemies, and they each all have like their own weaknesses. So that was a really cool feature. I really like that feature in this game. And then I also like the variety of fights also. So like, you know, if you wanted to be like, you go to like an area, depending on like what type of mission it was or whatnot, you could kind of choose how you wanted to proceed. So you come up across a group of enemies. All right, do you want to try and stealth take them out? Do you want to create web zip lines and you're like walking above them, being all like stealthy and, you know, webbing them up and stuff? You can do that. Go for it. Or you can just jump right in there and, you know, have a good old free for all. So I also like that. I like the the option to be able to play the game in different ways, not being kind of forced into one way. And then boss battles very much improved over the first game. I wouldn't say they were extremely difficult, unless you happen to be a premature button push like I am. Otherwise, the boss fights were very good. Although I will say this, the final fight. So the final boss, there's like 2 fights to the final boss, and each fight has like its own stages. First fight I thought was great. First stage of the second fight was good, but then in the second stage, or when was the first stage? In the second fight, there was one part I remember where I was just like, okay, this is easy. It's like it was just like the same thing, just repeat it over and over again. But otherwise, boss fights were, I mean, everything in this game is improved on the previous 2 games. I can't think of anything that got worse about this game. All right, okay. What else? Oh, side missions. Again, pretty much the same as the previous games. Go take a photo here. Stop this crime there. Find this creative parts up on top of this building over here. Right, that type of stuff. Okay. But here's the thing for me. It never really got repetitive for me, as I was able to get through them fairly quickly. Actually, the last 2 things I did was collect crates and find these little spider bot things. And so as you play the game, there's different upgrades you get, obviously. And one of the upgrades you can get is that you can make those appear on your mini map. And once I did that, it became really easy to find them, because all I had to do was just swing around town, swing, push R3, scan. Look, there's a crate over there. Okay, go get it. Swing, push R3, scan. Oh, there's a spider bot over here. Okay, go get it. That was pretty simple. That made things very, very easy. I did not. Okay, I only used a guide for. Okay, what did I use a guide for? I used a guide for one thing, I think. Yeah, I used the guide for one thing. It was a puzzle solution. It wasn't even a difficult puzzle. There was just, I had to power up this generator, and I could not find the generator. That's what I used the guide. That's what I used the guide for. Just where was that one generator? That was it. Other than that, I found it very easy to find stuff in this game. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it was that tedious little, okay, gotta go collect. And here's the thing about the tech parts. I didn't get all the tech part chests. There was more chests than what you need to get, which makes it, easier. You don't have to collect every chest in the game to get the max upgrades. Side quest. Now, when I say side quest, I mean like story-based kind of side quest, stuff like that, right? These I thought were really, really well done, especially the one that's centered around. It's called the Flame. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, okay? No, this is actually the last story-based thing I did in the entire game. Like, I actually beat the main game before I did this quest. Well, I think I started the quest like before I beat the game, but then I beat the game and then I finished this quest. And here's the thing, I highly recommend it, because it's not only is it really good, but it sets up something for either potential DLC or the next game. There is, if you're a Spider-Man fan, it sets up a character. It sets up a major player in a major Spider-Man character. All right. What next thing I want to talk about? Let's talk. Okay, the movement. Now I've seen the videos on Twitter. Okay, here's the thing. I'm sorry, but to me the movement was very, very smooth. All right. I played the game on performance mode at 60 FPS. Didn't have any drop frames at all. Wasn't like really spazzing out or glitchy or anything like that. It was very smooth. Swinging around New York, still one of the best parts of these games.
From who knows where.
I said first night, all I pretty much did for the most part, okay, was swing around New York, and they had the little.
What did it say?
If you play the other two Spider-Man games, you'll know you get the random crime pop-ups. Go beat the guys up. Swing around New York. Random crime pop up. Go beat the guys up. That was what I did. Also, they added in web wings, which allows Spider-Man to glide. And while he's gliding, he can catch updrafts and wind currents that will take him higher, further, and faster. Now, of course, all right, everything is all that great about the web wings, particularly a certain side quest. And I said earlier that I enjoyed every minute of this game. Well, almost every minute. This was the part that I did not enjoy. There is this side quest, okay, that requires you to glide along in a slipstream following this falcon drone. And you're collecting data. You're collecting data. You do. You have a progress bar. You have to follow them along. All right. I oftentimes found it really hard to keep up with the damn twists and turns, and I ended up crashing, and either have to start over, or I crashed and I have to try and find a way to catch back up because it's a glide thing, so I can't just I can't just like be like, okay, fly. I have to swing up and get up high enough to glide. So that was like my one issue with that. But I'd say overall gameplay for me, 9.5. Like I was sitting here thinking about this, and I want to play this game again. I don't. No. Let me rephrase that. I wish there was more to this game. Like I want to keep playing the game. I just don't have anything else to do in the game. Like I wish there was more. Like that's like one of my biggest gripes. There's not enough to do. Now, I should put this in perspective, right? Okay. So here's my gameplay time. Well, the game came out on Thursday night, last Thursday. Whenever this video was, a week ago, 9 p.m. my time. It took me around 30 hours to get the platinum. Between 25 and 30 hours. I know it was between those times, but it's a 5-hour time frame. I know it's 5 hours is a long time, you know. That's the time frame it took me to beat the platinum the game. So I started Thursday night, and I had the platinum by Sunday night. And I also took the and I didn't play the game just non-stop. I watched a bunch of football on Saturday, a little bit on Sunday. You know, I slept, and I say I slept. You know, I'm a good 8-hour sleeper at night. So when I'm saying that, okay, I wish there was more. Maybe if I wasn't able to basically almost no life the game, it would have lasted longer for me, but didn't. So therefore, I want more. And as I said, like gameplay 9.5 out of 10. All right, now this is the part where we're gonna have spoilers. All right, so I'm gonna be discussing the story. I'll try not to spoil things as much as I can, but spoilers will be unavoidable at this point. So this is your warning. All right. Here we go. Story-wise, I thought the game started out incredible. All right, so basic quick opening cutscene, and then you just jump right into the action. This really cool boss fight, and then I felt so we get through that, and I felt the story kept up with a good pace throughout most of the game. Although it definitely plateaued a bit in certain before a certain major event happens. I felt like it started out really good. And then it kind of plateaued, and then this major event happens, and been like ramped up, and then they kind of plateaued again. And I was hoping for like another ramp up at the end, but I didn't get it. Not to say that the story's bad or anything. I'm not saying that. That's just how I felt. There are a couple MJ sections. Now I'll admit I wasn't exactly I wasn't exactly thrilled about this at first. Quickly grew on me. I'd say within like the first couple minutes of playing there are 3 MJ sections, I believe. Well, I'll say 3. It's because you kind of in the later ones you kind of bounce back and forth. We'll say 3 MJ sections, and I would say a couple minutes into the first MJ section, I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I have no more complaints, no more reservations. I'm enjoying this. Also, okay, now I won't spoil the ending. But the ending, as much as I was like, I thought it kind of plateaued. I will say this. I will give it credit for this. It does a really, really good job of setting up the quote-unquote third game. The reason I use quote-unquote is because between this ending, the flame side quest, and I think there's another side quest, they set up so many potential characters that I feel like there's also going to be a sequel to the Miles Morales game. I really do. I think that I do. Now, I'm not going to mention the names who they are of these people, but so basically they set up for 5 villains and another hero they're coming. So I'm definitely thinking there's going to be, I think there's going to be DLC for this game, a sequel to the first Miles Morales game, and definitely a 3rd Spider-Man game. So Spider-Man 3 is definitely going to happen. I don't see how it doesn't happen. So, like I said, story really good. Okay, I'm going towards an 8 out of 10, and that I think that final 0.8. I include those side quest storylines in the game, or in my opinion of the overall story, because I believe those are part of the overall grand story, of this game and of the whole and of the series as a whole. So Spider-Man 2, overall, I'll give it a 9.1 out of 10. I don't know. That feels a little low to me. Might in the future, up a little bit more. I don't see myself going above a 9.4. I think maybe if I replayed it and I just didn't know life it for 3 days, like I said, I think one of the things I feel like to me is definitely holding it back for me is the fact that it hasn't even been a week yet, and I've already 100%ed the game and deleted my PlayStation 5 not because I dislike it. I don't hate the game and everything. I think it's great. It's on my short list for Game of the Year. It's in my top 4 for Game of the Year. But to me, it's like, okay, I didn't even get a week's worth of gaming out of this game. In comparison, Resident Evil 4 remake, not Resident Evil 5 remake. Resident Evil 5 remake. Resident Evil 4 remake. It's still the front runner for my Game of the Year. I played that game for a month straight. I played Spider-Man for like 3 days. That's just a little perspective. I'll tell you right now. I would definitely recommend Spider-Man 2 if you have a PS5. This game, if you're wondering, should I get a PS5? I'll put this game on my list of reasons why you should get a PS5. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more content here at Marvel's True Gaming.